Imagine building a life that looks perfect from the outside. A powerful marriage. A global foundation worth tens of billions of dollars. 3 children. A reputation built on compassion and intelligence. For nearly 30 years, the world saw Melinda French Gates standing beside Bill Gates as one half of one of the most influential partnerships in modern history. Then suddenly, in May 2021, everything changed. The divorce announcement shocked the technology world, the philanthropic community, and millions of people who had believed that partnership was unbreakable. But the real story wasn't the divorce itself. It was the quiet transformation of a woman who had been redefining her identity long before the world noticed. To understand Melinda's strength, you have to go back to 1964, when she was born in Dallas, Texas. And her father worked as an aerospace engineer, a man who valued precision and discipline. Her mother believed something equally important. Her daughter should never feel limited by the expectations placed on women. In that household, success was not measured by wealth or fame. It was measured by preparation and responsibility. That mindset stayed with Melinda for the rest of her life. Everything shifted when computers appeared in her classroom. At a time when few schools had them, she encountered Apple computers and discovered something powerful. Technology didn't judge you. It didn't care about gender or background. It responded only to logic. If your code worked, you succeeded. If it didn't, you learned and tried again. That simple rule shaped the way Melinda approached problems. Calmly, methodically, and without drama. After earning degrees in computer science and economics at Duke University and later completing an MBA, she faced a life-changing decision in 1987. IBM, the stable giant of the tech world, offered her a job. But another opportunity appeared. An ambitious young company in Seattle called Microsoft. At that time, the company had just over 1,000 employees. It was risky. It was uncertain. She chose it anyway. At Microsoft, Melinda quickly proved she was more than capable. As a product manager and the only woman among 10 MBA recruits, she navigated an intense corporate culture where debates were sharp and competition constant. Instead of trying to out-argue everyone, she introduced a different leadership style: collaboration. Teams worked better, ideas improved, and her influence grew quietly inside the company. And that same workplace is where she met Bill Gates. Their relationship developed gradually, and in 1994 they married in Hawaii. Soon they had 3 children: Jennifer, 1996, Rory, 1999, and Phoebe, 2002. At the same time, their shared wealth was expanding rapidly through Microsoft's success. But one experience outside the tech world changed their direction completely. During visits to developing countries in the 1990s, they witnessed children dying from diseases that already had vaccines. The medicine existed, the science existed, but the systems delivering those solutions didn't. That realization led to the creation of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation in 2000, which would eventually invest tens of billions of dollars into vaccines, global health, and education. Through partnerships like Gavi, our vaccination campaigns reached hundreds of millions of children across Africa and Asia. Yet power on that scale carries pressure. Melinda spent years reading scientific reports, meeting world leaders, and guiding decisions that could influence healthcare systems across entire nations. At the same time, her role often existed beside the shadow of one of the world's most famous entrepreneurs. Quietly, she began carving out her own priorities, especially women's health, reproductive rights, and education for girls. Behind the scenes, the marriage that once symbolized unity was changing. Concerns about Bill's meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, along with other personal strains, created growing distance. Melinda later described that period simply as unbelievable sadness. By 2019, she began having recurring dreams of a house collapsing around her, a metaphor she later said her mind was trying to explain. In 2020, she told Bill she wanted to live separately. A year later, the divorce became public. But here is the deeper twist. Leaving the marriage did not mean stepping away from influence. In 2024, she left the Gates Foundation and expanded Pivotal Ventures, receiving an additional $12.5 billion to fund independent initiatives. Within 2 years, she committed $1 billion toward women's rights, healthcare research, and economic opportunity in the United States. And that is the real transformation. For decades, the world saw Melinda French Gates as part of a powerful partnership. Today, she represents something different, a woman redefining power on her own terms. Because sometimes the strongest decision you can make is not building something together. It's having the courage to build again, completely on your own.